Let's set the scene. Hawaii, sun, beaches, and right in the middle, Pearl Harbor, a massive natural harbor on Oahu. It's not just a pretty spot, it's a strategic gem, once famous for pearl oysters, now the US Navy's main Pacific base. Think of it as America's VIP lounge in the Pacific, where the biggest ships and most important military moves happened. Pearl Harbor let the US project power across Asia and the Pacific, home to the Pacific Fleet battleships, cruisers, destroyers, and thousands of sailors. Its location was everything, thousands of miles closer to Asia, making it the ultimate forward base. For any Asian power with big ambitions, Pearl Harbor was the neighbor who saw everything. It was a checkpoint, repair shop, and fortress all in one. The base was a bold statement: America's here, and we're watching. Pearl Harbor wasn't just a port, it was the heart of US naval power in the Pacific. The men and women stationed there lived in paradise, but they were also on the front line of America's defense. The calm waters and sunny skies hid simmering global tensions. Beneath the surface, the world was changing, and this harbor was about to become the center of it all. Pearl Harbor was the calm before the storm. Its importance would soon be known to the entire world, and paradise was about to be shattered. Why did Japan target Pearl Harbor? It wasn't random, it was about power, resources, and desperation. In the 1930s, Japan was expanding aggressively, aiming to dominate Asia and secure vital resources like oil and rubber. The US and other Western nations pushed back, slapping Japan with economic sanctions and, most importantly, an oil embargo. For Japan, losing oil meant losing its military and industrial power. Backed into a corner, Japan's leaders faced a choice: back down or strike hard. They chose to attack, hoping to cripple the US Pacific Fleet and buy time to secure their conquests. Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, who knew America's strength, planned the attack with chilling precision. The idea hit Pearl Harbor so hard that America would be forced to negotiate, not fight. It was a huge gamble, one that underestimated American resolve. Japan believed a surprise attack would break US morale. Instead, it would unite the country like never before. The plan was bold, desperate, and ultimately doomed. Pearl Harbor was the opening move in a high-stakes game for control of the Pacific, and it would change the course of history. December 7, 1941, a peaceful Sunday morning in Hawaii, shattered in minutes. Out of the blue, Japanese planes launched from 6 carriers, swarming toward Oahu. At 7:55 a.m., bombs and torpedoes rained down on Pearl Harbor. The attack was a total surprise. Airfields were hit first, grounding American planes. Then came the assault on Battleship Row. Ships exploded, capsized, and burned. Chaos erupted, alarms blared, men scrambled, and the harbor turned to fire and smoke. Anti-aircraft guns fired back, but it was too little, too late. A second wave hit, ensuring devastation. In under 2 hours, the Pacific Fleet was crippled, battleships sunk, hundreds of planes destroyed. The attack was a tactical masterpiece for Japan, but a nightmare for Americans. Over 2,400 Americans died. The harbor was left in ruins. The world changed in those 2 hours. Pearl Harbor was no longer a paradise, it was a battlefield, and America would never be the same. Behind the chaos were key figures and unforgettable acts of heroism. Admiral Yamamoto masterminded the attack. Commander Mitsuo Fuchida led the first wave, signaling "Tora, Tora, Tora," complete surprise. On the American side, Admiral Kimmel and General Short were caught off guard, later blamed for the unpreparedness. The USS Arizona became the tragedy's symbol. Hit by a massive bomb, it exploded and sank, taking over 1,000 lives. Other ships like the Oklahoma and Utah suffered similar fates. 8 battleships were damaged or sunk. Japanese planes, especially the Zero fighter, outclassed many American aircraft. Amidst the destruction, heroes emerged, like Doris "Dory" Miller, who manned a machine gun and saved lives despite no training. Countless sailors fought fires, rescued shipmates, and defended their ships with whatever they could. Ordinary people faced extraordinary terror and rose to the moment. Their courage became the legacy of Pearl Harbor. In the chaos, humanity and heroism shone through. News of the attack stunned America. Shock turned to outrage overnight. "Remember Pearl Harbor" became the rallying cry, uniting a divided nation. Isolationist debates vanished. Americans lined up to enlist. President Roosevelt addressed Congress the next day, calling December 7th a date which will live in infamy. Congress declared war almost unanimously. The attack didn't break America, it galvanized it. Recruitment soared, Patriotism surged. The country shifted from disbelief to determination. Pearl Harbor awakened a sleeping giant. The US was all in, ready to fight, ready to win. The world's balance of power was about to shift, and America's war had truly begun. Pearl Harbor launched America into World War II. No more sitting on the sidelines. Within days, Germany and Italy declared war, and the US faced a global conflict on two fronts. The home front transformed factories made tanks, not cars. Women filled jobs left by men at war. The arsenal of democracy powered the Allied effort. But unity had a dark side. Japanese Americans were forced into internment camps, a shameful chapter in US history. In the Pacific, Japan's victory was short-lived. They missed the US aircraft carriers, the real game changers. 6 months later at Midway, those carriers helped turn the tide. Pearl Harbor was a tactical win for Japan, but a strategic disaster. America's industrial might and resolve would soon overwhelm its enemies. The sleeping giant was wide awake and unstoppable. The war would be long and brutal, but the outcome was set in motion that day. Pearl Harbor was the spark that lit the fire, and the world would never look the same. Pearl Harbor's legacy endures, etched in memory, memorials, and history. The USS Arizona Memorial stands as a solemn reminder of sacrifice and loss. The attack taught hard lessons about vigilance and intelligence failures, leading to sweeping changes in US security. Another Pearl Harbor became shorthand for surprise attacks and the need for preparedness. The event ended American isolationism, pushing the US into global leadership. Pearl Harbor transformed America into a superpower, shaping the world order for decades. It's a story of tragedy, heroism, unity, and the dangers of prejudice. Remembering Pearl Harbor means honoring those lost and learning from the past. One day changed everything, echoing through generations. The price of freedom and the cost of war are lessons we can't afford to forget.